Welcome to the latest episode of the Real World Nutrition Podcast. This is episode 154, Smart Choices in the Snack Food Aisle. Hi everyone, welcome to the latest episode of Real World Nutrition. I am Shelley Rael, the host and founder of Real World Nutrition. Today, I am continuing my series of navigating the grocery store and making healthier choices in the grocery store when you do your grocery shopping, obviously. And today, I'm addressing one of the trickier sections of the grocery store, the snack food aisle. This is where I say things can be tricky because there's a lot of marketing going on the packages that can be really misleading. Now, this is true for many sections of the grocery store. That's why I'm doing this whole series. But this is just one of those areas where people tend to buy things because they have the implication of healthy or the health halo that can go with some of those snack foods. So let me address these different parts of the snack food aisle and help you make some healthier choices. So first off, why is this so confusing? When you go to the snack food aisle, it really can be easy to feel overwhelmed. We are bombarded with bright packages and big claims like low fat or high protein, and a range of options from chips and crackers to energy bars and fruit snacks. And how can we make sense of all of this? Many snacks in this aisle are marketed as healthy or have an implication as healthy. I often think of the veggie straws or the snack chips that are made with vegetables when people think those are healthier, when really it's just a different way of making a snack food. I mean, technically speaking, potato chips are made with vegetables, right? So the truth is you have to dig a little bit deeper into the labels to know what you're really getting. And often those snacks that are labeled as low fat or natural might be loaded with sugar or sodium. So it is important to be aware of some of these marketing tricks and focus on the actual nutritional value. So this is why I remind people to pay attention to the nutrition label and understand what to look for on the nutrition label. So this is one of the biggest places to help you make smarter choices. So where you want to look not just at the front of the package, but pick it up and turn it around and look for that nutrition facts label. First off, the serving size is critical. It's not uncommon for snacks to list a small serving size that makes it seem lower in calories, fat, or sugar. So it seems like it's lower, but then when you eat the amount that you would normally eat, it may be 2 or 3 times that serving size. So I would say check that serving size first and compare it to how much you would normally eat. That serving size is not necessarily a recommendation, not a recommended serving amount, but more of what that nutrition information on the label is referring to. So if something says a half a cup per serving, all those numbers on the label are obviously referring to that half cup serving. And if you eat more or eat less, you've got to adjust that accordingly. So this brings me to calories. So look at how many calories are in a serving and how does that fit in with your nutrition needs, your goals. Also check the total fat, more importantly, whether it's saturated or trans fats. So you do want to minimize both the saturated and the trans fats, and especially those trans fats, which are harmful to heart health. We know that. So if you see that there's fat in that food, does that really mean you have to avoid it? Not necessarily. No, fat is not the bad thing necessarily, but watch for those saturated and trans fats. Another big one is sodium. Many packaged snacks are high in sodium to extend shelf life. Sodium is a preservative. It also adds flavor, but too much sodium can increase our risk of high blood pressure and other health problems. So I encourage people to aim for snacks that are lower in sodium, especially if you're consuming multiple servings. And then, of course, don't forget sugar. You want to minimize snacks with lots of added sugars. Opt for those that use natural sweeteners like fruit and aim for a snack that has 10 grams or less of sugar per serving. Now, there are plenty of healthy snack options to look for. So now that you know how to read a label or what to look for specifically on the label, I do want to address some specific snack options that can help you stay on track. First up, nuts and seeds. These are some of the healthiest options in the snack aisle. Nuts and seeds have healthy fats, fiber, and protein, and all of this can help you feel full between meals. So I encourage people to look for varieties that are unsalted or lightly salted and really try to avoid those options that have the added sugars or added flavorings. And then next up is popcorn. A lot of people are surprised when I tell them that popcorn can be a healthy snack. It's a whole grain, and the biggest challenge with popcorn is when we add a lot of stuff to it that we don't need. So air popped popcorn, lightly seasoned popcorn are great sources of fiber and really low in calories. You can eat a lot of popcorn before the calories really start adding up. So I just tell people watch out for the ones that are high in the butter flavoring or the butter and heavily salted options. Another great choice is whole grain crackers. So whole grain crackers with hummus or a slice of cheese really is a great filling and balanced snack. So I encourage people to look for crackers with minimal added sugars and high fiber content. One of my favorite crackers has always been for my whole life is Triscuits. And more recently, I've noticed they've been coming out with more flavors. There's a pizza flavor, there's a sour cream and onion flavor. So there's more flavors and more options that we can have. Fruit and nut bars are also a good option, but I remind you again, watch for those added sugars. So look for bars that are made from whole ingredients like nuts, seeds, dried fruits, without a lot of added sweeteners. So there are going to be some added sweeteners, but I'd recommend aim for a bar with 5 grams of sugar or less, but definitely less than 10 grams of sugar if you're finding it's more than 5 grams of sugar. So let's talk a little bit more once you've got some of those snacks in your home, planning and moderation. So we can certainly have snacks. I encourage snacks, but we don't want to overdo it. So this is where portion control comes in. Even healthy snacks can become unhealthy if you eat too many of them. So when you buy snacks, if they don't already come in single servings or portions, consider portioning them out into smaller containers when you get home. And that way, when you reach for a snack, you're grabbing the appropriate portion. But even if you don't want to do that, be aware of the serving size. Like for the crackers, how many crackers are in a serving? With the popcorn, what does 5 cups look like? When we're talking about nuts and seeds, that's one where I leave a measuring cup. So I don't portion it out necessarily, but I leave a 1/4 cup measuring cup in my peanut and mixed nut containers. So that way I know when I go in to reach for that, I scoop out that 1/4 cup portion and know exactly how much I'm getting. Now, I acknowledge this isn't for everybody. I happen to have a lot of measuring cup sets. Over the years, I've just taken the cheap ones and just leave the different measuring cups in different packages that I have in my pantry. And of course, I still have ones where I use for day-to-day measuring. The other thing that this helps with is helping people be mindful of emotional eating. We've all been there. We turn to snacks when we're bored or we're stressed. So here's a couple tips. One, ask yourself, am I really hungry or am I just bored? If you're truly hungry, of course, having a balanced snack can help tide you over to your next meal. If you're not hungry, consider distracting yourself with another activity. But this is also where those portion sizes, the pre-portioning or having those measuring cups or measuring devices in the packaging can help. So rather than grabbing the whole bag or the whole container, having that pre-portioned or portioning it out can help. So really, these are again just some tips to help with you navigating the snack food aisle and navigating the snacks when you're at home. So focus on whole ingredients, read the labels, practice moderations, and you can make healthy, satisfying choices that fit your lifestyle. Snacks can absolutely be part of a balanced diet. You just want to make sure you're choosing wisely. And if you do want to have the Cheetos or the Doritos or snack foods like that, that's where the portioning is very important. So I don't want people to feel deprived because may not be a substitute for that snack food that you like, but the portions are super important. All right, everyone, that is it for this section of the grocery store and this week's episode of Real World Nutrition. So I hope this helps you with some tips in the snack food aisle on your next grocery store trip. And tune in for next week's episode where we tackle another section of the grocery store to help you avoid some of those common pitfalls, make healthier choices, and hopefully save money in the long run. All right, everyone, you take care and bye for now.